Hello guys, I'm Joser Sabado and I'm with Lionel Borreros, Brian James Melendez, Ansbert Bartolata, and Arnie James Francisco. And we are Team 1. Now, we're going to discuss to you the drivetrain. Under the drivetrain, we're going to talk about the steering wheel and linkage, power steering fluid, automatic transmission fluid, manual transmission oil, tire, grease change, drive shaft, manual transmission, automatic transmission, and manual gearbox. So now guys, let's proceed to the first topic, steering linkage. So the steering wheel, alam naman natin yun ay ang manobela ng ating sasakyan. And the linkage is ito yung mga kumo-connect doon sa ating steering wheel. So ano nga ba ang steering linkage? Steering linkage is consist of rods, arms, and ball sockets that link to the steering mechanism patungo sa ating steering knuckles, at ito rin ang nagpapagalaw sa ating gulong ng ating sasakyan. So, ang purpose ng steering linkage na ito ay to transmit the motion of steering wheel to the automobile wheel. A conventional parallelogram steering linkage, which used in larger vehicle, pitman arm, idler, center link, and tie rod. The steering gearbox is connected to the pitman arm, which attached to the end of the center link. The other end of a center link is linked to the idler arm, which is connected to the automobile frame. So now guys, let's proceed to power steering fluid. So ano nga ba ang power steering fluid? Ang power steering fluid guys ay isang uri ng hydraulic fluid transferring power in modern vehicles with power steering. Ito rin guys ay nagpapaganda ng performance ng ating steering wheel linkage. So pinapa-smooth nito yung pag-ikot ng ating manubela, ganun din ang pag-turn to left and right ng ating gulong. So, meron bang mga power steering fluid na magkakaparehas? So, maraming mga steering fluid na pwedeng gamitin sa ating sasakyan. Merong Mercon or Dextron. Depende ito sa uri na gagamitin natin sa ating sasakyan. Do you need to change your car's power steering? Dito guys, sa tanong na to, pwede natin siyang palitan periodically. Pero kahit periodically natin siya papalitan, so guys, kailangan din natin ma-maintain yung ating steering fluid kung okay pa ba siya. As much as possible, kailangan mga every once a week, kailangan na check natin kung okay pa ba yung ating power steering fluid. So, kailan ba natin malalaman kung pwede na ba nating palitan yung ating steering fluid? So, guys, kapag naririnig na natin na parang may moaning sound or even filthy fluid during steering, signal low power steering fluid levels, kailangan na natin itong palitan ASAP. Kasi, guys, maaari itong magkaroon ng bad effects sa ating steering linkage. What can you use if you don't have power steering fluid? Are there alternatives? So, ano nga bang gagamitin natin pang alternative? Kung meron ba tayong kung wala tayong magamit na standard na para sa ating steering fluid. So guys, base sa binabasa ko, meron tayong pwedeng pang alternative na. Meron dito Dextron. Dextron is a transmission fluid, is another alternative, and is generally grayish, brownish, or even greenish in color. So, pwede rin itong Dextron na gawin natin pang-alternative sa ating power steering fluid. Pwede rin itong Mercon. Mercon transmission fluid is quite similar to Dextron transmission fluid, and is a suitable substitute for your power steering fluid or if your Dextron fluid is not giving it. So, pwede rin itong ating Mercon. So, dalawa yung pwede natin maging incentive. Pero guys, kapag meron naman tayong talagang original na ginagamit sa ating sasakyan na na power steering fluid na para talaga sa ating sasakyan, ay huwag na tayong magpalit pa. Kasi baka magkaroon ito ng bad effects nga sa ating steering cage.
So let's proceed to the automatic transmission fluids. So sa automatic transmission fluids, automatic transmission fluids, it is used to lubricate our transmission for optimum performance. So kung nakikita natin, we have two colors of fluids, which is the red and green. Then so ito ay ginagamit to distinguish it from motor oil and other fluids in the vehicle. So these fluids help our transmission or yung parts natin to lubricate the parts sa ating transmission. And of course, we have to replace by year or nakadepende sa takbo ng ating sasakyan yung fluids natin. Pwede natin silang palitan or inspectionin. Tingnan natin sa distance, makikita natin na nakasulat is kailangan natin silang palitan pag sila ay tumakbo na ng 40,000 kilometers to 24,000 miles or maximum for 2 years or equivalent siya sa 2 years. Kailangan na natin silang palitan. Bakit ba natin kailangan sila palitan? Syempre, kailangan natin sila palitan kasi once nang yung automatic transmission natin ay hindi napalitan or di natin na-replace. Kasi di ba we have two colors ng fluids which is red and green. So pag nagamit na ito, nagto-change siya sa color na black, which is pag nagpagpatuloy yung paggamit natin sa black na at di natin napalitan at napanatili natin black yung fluids natin, so maaring mag-cause ito ng problem sa ating transmission, which is sinabi dito poor performance ng lubricating. So di siya magiging smooth or magiging thick or kakapal yung or hindi na malapot yung lubricant natin. So which is magkakos siya ng noise for sa function ng ating transmission for sa mga metal to metal contact. Magkakos siya ng noise sa ating mga gear tooth flank, and then magkakaroon din ng mga sludge and metal particles sa ating oil, and then pwede siyang sumama dun sa function ng ating transmission. So kailangan natin talaga siyang palitan kasi kung hindi, yung gear ng ating is become seized, and syempre magkukos siya sa ating sasakyan ng inoperative. So di siya magpo-function ng maayos, minsan is namamatay-matay, and then babagal yung function ng ating transmission na pwedeng mag-cause ng major problem sa transmission natin. So sabi ko nga, replace our automatic fluid transmission within 40,000 kilometers to 24 miles or maximum 2 years or 80 kilometers to 48,000 miles, maximum of 4 years. And now, let's proceed to manual transmission oil or differential oil. So, the differential oil is used to lubricate the ring and pinion gear ng ating sasakyan na nagtatransfer ng power papunta sa drive shaft and papunta sa wheel axle natin. If yung sasakyan natin is fitted naman with limited slip differential, papanintili ng differential oil natin na mag-function yung mga parts ng ating transmission without any problem. So, sa inspection interval natin and replacement sa manual transmission oil natin is kailangan nakadepende pa rin tayo gaya ng una natin sa automatic transmission. We have to check and replace our oil or our fluids. Nakadepende pa din sa time kung paano natin ginamit yung ating sasakyan. So, sa transmission oil natin, we have to check kung umabot na ba ng 40,000 kilometers or 24,000 miles yung takbo or yung naabot ng ating sasakyan, which is equivalent siya sa 4 years. Pwede natin siyang palitan or i-replace. And then sa sa Hilux for general countries, we have every 20,000 kilometers to 12,000 miles or equivalent siya sa 1 year replacement or 1 year kailangan na natin siyang palitan. So, bakit kaya kailangan natin ng palitan? Gaya ng una na sinabi ko sa automatic transmission, para sila ng papapagdaan ng consequence if di natin siya napalitan. So, kaya ang sinabi ko, pag di natin napalitan yung ating oil, maaaring mag-cause siya ng poor lubrication sa ating transmission, and then magkukos siya ng noise sa ating gear tooth flanks, and yung gear natin will become seized and magkukos ito ng malfunctioning sa ating transmission. So, always inspect. Pag mag-inspect is kailangan nating i-relate or tingnan natin yung distance driven or yung amount ng time kung paano natin siya nagalit, kasi di natin siya judge if titingnan lang natin siya. So, kailangan natin ng basihan, which is ito, naka-indicate dito na 40,000 kilometers to 24 miles or maximum 4 years yung replacement interval or sa inspection natin. So, next natin is the tire. So, we also know the tire or yung gulong. So, it's very important sa isang sasakyan na may gulong, which is talagang importante talaga, kasi without this gulong is yung sasakyan natin will never function or di siya talaga aandar or magmo-move one place to another. So, tire is very important. So, pag ang tire natin is um, wala sa ayos or wala sa proper measure, sa proper pressure ng ah, pressure sa gulong natin or yung hangin sa gulong natin, um, ano kaya maaring mangyari? So, here we're going to inspect and replace our tires interval or replace interval sa ating tire, which is check natin yung wear or yung pagkapudpod ng ating mga gulong, and second is yung air pressure natin. So, sa slides na to, naka-indicate kung ano ang mangyayari once yung tire natin is may wear or yung air pressure is mababa or mataas. So, sa tire natin, kung may crack yung tire natin is pag di pa natin napalitan, maaaring maging madulas siya pag yung umuulan, and then gumagawang or yung tires natin is magburst or lumabas yung hangin, or ang tawag ito, maging maplat yung ating at maglulus yung brakes or mag-fail na magkukos sa isang aksidente. So, karamihan talaga ng aksidente nangyayari sa kalsada is indicated sa yung mga car accident is karamihan is pagka-lost ng tire or pagkapudpod ng tire, pagka-flat, or yan ang nagsasanhi ng accident. Then dito sa pangalawa, if yung air pressure is hindi na-adjust, it will cause an uneven or abnormality wear of the tires. So pag super high naman yung gulong, which is dapat may proper measurement tayo sa gulong natin or pagkarga ng pressure sa gulong natin. Pag yung gulong natin is di na-adjust, the time becomes susceptible to causing standing wave condition. The tire are likely to burst na magkukos sa ating sasakyan na maaksidente. So, in proper inspection and replacement interval, so we have to first check wear inspection. So, every 10,000 kilometers to 6,000 miles or 6 months is kailangan na nating i-replace yung tire natin kung yung tire natin is may dip or napansin natin na masyado ng pudpud or bumaba na sa 3 mm or 3 mm yung na reach ng ating na reach ng wear natin. So pwede 1.6 millimeter. So naka-indicate dito sa second slide yung tire wear indication, which is naka-indicate dito yung type ng vehicle, kung passenger ba siya or small size truck or truck bus. So naka-indicate dito kung ordinary or highway. Pag ordinary, we have 1.6 mm or 1.6 mm or sa passenger vehicle natin pag sa ordinary, and then pag highway 1.6, same lang, 1.6 mm, and then pag small size truck 1.6 mm to Pag highway naman, 2.4 mm. And then, sa truck bus, 1.6 mm to 3, sa highway, 3.2 mm. So, ano mangyari pag di natin siya napalitan? Maaari siyang um, maging deficient, di siya maging excessive, at magkaroon ng burst and wave condition sa ating mga gulong. As long yung tire natin is umaandar and nagkukos ng init or nag-overheat habang tumatakbo, magkakos to ng burst o pagka-flat ng ating gulong. So, kailangan natin siyang i-check sa wheels natin kung na-attempt pa ba niya yung proper measurement ng ating gulong. So, next natin is tire abnormality worm. So, dito naka-indicate sa baba yung both edge na pagkapudpod and center wear na pagkapudpod. Yan yung pagkapudpod. Naka-indicate dyan kung air pressure is too low, air pressure is too high, and then rudder edge wear is too in or too out problem. So, nakadepende yan sa pagkakabit or kung paano yung pagkabit ng gulong natin. Kasi minsan napupudpud talaga yan pag sa katagal-tagalan ng paggamit. So, let's proceed to the air pressure. So, sa air pressure natin, kailangan nating i-check lagi yung air pressure ng ating sasakyan. Di lang dapat 10,000 kilometers to 6,000 miles or 6 months yung possible na pag-check ng ating air pressure, kundi pwede na naman natin silang i-check lagi kasi minsan di natin alam kung natusok na ng pako yung ating gulong, pero always check. Ito yung proper inspection and replacement ng ating gulong sa air pressure. So, sa inspection, every 10,000 kilometers to 6,000 miles or 6 months. So, it is possible to judge by looking. So, pwede natin silang palitan pag tiningnan na natin. Kasi malalaman naman natin kung pwede na talaga siyang palitan or pwede nang baguhin or palitan yung gulong natin kasi kung nakikita natin flat na or pudpud na yung tire natin na magkakos sa atin pag nagbiyahe tayo ng accident. So, yun.
So, sa tire naman, siyempre yung tire, ibig sabihin nito sa mga 4 wheels, depende rin to sa mga gulong na ginagamit natin sa sasakyan. So, pero yung topic natin ngayon is 4 wheels or yung mga karaniwang ginagamit sa mga Fortuner, sa mga Vios, sa mga Wigo. So, una, if worn cracks, tires are not replaced. So, ito yung mga possibility na pag hindi pinalitan. Worn or cracked tires. So, in the rain, the tires are likely to cause hydroplaning. The tires are likely to burst the brake pail. So, mag-aari itong mag-cause ng dangerous sa aksidente pag yung gulong natin is na laging nasa ulan or nabababad. So, if the air pressure is not adjusted, so the tire air pressure become abnormal. So, una is it will cause an uneven or abnormal wear of the tires. Then, the tires become susceptible to causing standing wave condition. The tires are likely to burst, so causes nun is the service life of tires is shorted. It is dangerous because it could lead an accident. So yung paano naman yung pang-inspect sa or replacement interval, syempre una wear. Syempre pag magpapalit tayo, kailangan natin inspection. Then papalitan yung gulong is every 10,000 km or 6,000 miles or every 6 months. Depende kung lagi nyo ginagamit. Then we need to replace the tire when the tread depth of the tire. Syempre kailangan natin palitan to upang hindi tayo magkaroon ng problem or hindi tayo maplatan sa kalsada. Then if the depth of tire tread reaches 1.6 mm, the tire indicator appears on the tire surface and indicates the need for replacement. It indicates the limit of tire wear. Syempre yung gulong lang ng meron kasing ibang sasakyan, may limitado lang kung anong gulong yung pwedeng ilagay. Bawal yung mga katulad sa Raptor, hindi mo pwedeng gayahin. 'Di ba? Kasi iba yung ibang sasakyan yun eh. Pangalawa is air pressure inspection every 10 km is 6,000 miles or every 6 months. It is possible to judge by looking, or it is possible to get pressure when the air, so pressure is abnormally low. Syempre kailangan sakto yung mga hangin nasa loob ng gulong, kasi once na sumobra ito, maaari itong sumabog. Pag kulang naman, bagal yung takbo natin. Ayun yung sa tire. So sa tire wear indication naman tayo. So may kita dito sa taas, may tire wear indication. So sa una, vehicle type, passenger vehicle, small size truck, and truck and bus. So sa vehicle type is syempre ordinary and highway. Ibig sabihin nun yung gulong na syempre 'di ba, ordinary lang dapat yung nilagay natin or kung ano man yung sinusunod dun sa may owner's manual upang magkaroon ng tamang proseso. Sa passenger vehicle naman is 1.6 mm. Sa small size truck or katulad mga 4-wheelers, 6-wheelers is 1.62 to 2 mm. Then truck and bus is 1.6 to 3.2 mm. So sa wear indication is when the standing wave condition continues for a long time, the tires is overheat. So yung gulong is kailangan nasa tama din yung paggamit, lalo na kasi pag pinipreno yan, gumagasgas yung yung mga gulong napupudpud. Kaya once na hindi maayos yung pagpreno sa mga gulong, maaaring mapudpud ito at mag-cause ng aksidente, lalo na sa mga pagtag-ulan. So why tires were abnormally worn? So tread condition naman tsaka yung mga cause. Sa tread condition, both ages wear. So yung cause nun is air pressure to low. Then sa center wear is yung cause is air pressure to high. Then the pedal edge wear is toe in or toe out problem. Sa one side edge wear, camber problem. Then toe and heel wear, direction or rotation, it is arbitrary wear, normal block pattern tire. So doon sa may isang picture naman is yung may 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hanggang 6. So it depends lang siguro yan, no. Siguro pa sa akin yung 4 holes sa mga vehicle, yung mga 4 wheels na ordinary, then yung 5 holes sa mga van, sabay yung 6 holes sa mga truck pataas. Like nakalagay dito, trike 4 wheel is front wheel drive vehicle, 5 wheel or 6 wheel, it is rear wheel all drive vehicle. So ayun yung mga causes or mga problem dun sa tire wear indication. So sa grease change naman, so syempre sa may picture papaliwanag ko na kung sa may color white na picture, yung mga steering knuckle, steering center arm, tie rod end, and drag link. So using a grease gun, pump grease into the grease fitting until pressed. So grease flows out of the opposite side of the grease fitting. So grease outlet or boot end, however, some places are for replenish it only. So una, syempre is if a screw plug is used, replace it with fitting to pump grease. Then phone suspension arm bushing screws type, steering knuckle drag link, center arm and steering linkage. Then proper strap or suspension spring, hanger pin and shackle pin.
So now let's proceed to manual steering gearbox, or sa procedure, we're going to inspect the oil and grease leakage sa ating gear housing. So meron tayong mga bagay na dapat i-check sa ating steering gearbox. So we have two types of parts sa ating manual steering gear. We have rack and pinion type and recirculating ball type. So isa lang yan, but mga types yan ng uh, gearbox natin. So we have to check yung grease or yung oils sa ating gearbox kung ito ba'y nami-maintain yung lubrication sa ating mga gearbox. So we have to rack and pinion type. Sa rack and pinion type, guys, it's essentially the heart of our steering system. Ito yung nagpa-function na lumiko yung ating mga gulong mahawi papuntang right and left sa steering system natin. Paano siya mag-operate? Ito yung dahilan kung ba't nag-ooperate yung pagliko ng ating mga gulong. And then yung advantage lang niya sa sa pag na-damage yung ating rack and pinion, so yung ability ng pagliko ng ating sasakyan is makompromise, or it will cause extremely damage while you are driving. Kasi yung pagliliko mo ng sasakyan is pwedeng sobrang higpit or sobrang loosen or mababaw na liko lang, which is lumiliko na nakasagad na agad yung gulong. So yun yung malfunctioning ng ating rack and pinion. Ganun din sa recirculating ball type. So parehas lang yan ng dalawa, magkaiba lang sila ng design kung sa pagbabasehan, but we have to check the steering wheel, or yung mga i-check natin is yung focus natin is yung oil and grease leakage lang. So we have to check pag mag-check tayo pala sa rack and pinion type, we have to turn our tires to the right or to right and left to check yung mga boots, mga rack boots for the cracks and or damage. So as you can see dito sa picture natin, we have 1 and 2. It illustrate the boots ng ating pinion racks and a pinion and racks, and then yung mismong gear natin, yung nagpapaliko mismo sa ating sasakyan. So yung mga red arrows na yan, it's indicate that ito yung pumapasok, or ito yung mga nilulubricate or dapat nalulubricate, or merong grease or oil. So dito sa ating bushing sa number 1, yung tatlong arrow na yan, or yung dalawang arrow sa gilid, that's called the boots. So kailangan natin siyang lagyan ng grease and oil. And dapat pinapalitan din yan once na yan ay na-damage or may nakita tayong crack. Kasi pag di natin yan na palitan or di natin ni-replace yung may damage na boots na yan, is pwede siyang mapasukan ng dumi or yung dust, mga alikabok, na mag-cause ng pagtuyo ng ating mga oil, which is mahirapan malubricate yung ating pinion and yung rack natin. So yan, kailangan natin sila laging i-check. So sa ating rack and pinion naman, sa replacement yan, at least 100,000 miles yung kanyang natakbo. And then yun na yung pag sumobra pa doon is yun yung kailangang palitan na yung ating rack and pinion. So sa two types ng ating gearbox, which is yung rack and pinion natin and recirculating ball type, so para sa akin yung better na natin gamitin is yung rack and pinion, which is yung advantage naman ng rack and pinion sa system are marami talaga. First example natin na advantage niya is the simplicity, which is only two moving parts and walang masyadong friction na nagaganap. But yung positive engagement ng ating system, nagbibigay siya ng very tight and responsive feel to the steering natin, compare dun sa recirculating ball natin. So yun, so we have to inspect the boots and the lubrication ng ating sasakyan, which is kailangan natin palitan yung oil and grease, and tignan natin if may leakage or may mga pagtagas ng mga oil or grease, and which is kailangan na silang dapat mapalitan.
So next natin is manual transmission. So dito sa ating manual transmission, paano nga ba natin siya i-inspect? So first, i-disassemble natin siya. So once na naka-disassemble na siya, ang una-una natin i-inspect dito is yung ating front seal doon sa ating input shock, kung ito ay may damage or may scratch. So pag may scratch itong ating front seal ng ating input shock, no, possible na nagkakaroon tayo dito ng metal to metal contact, no. So may kailangan tayong ayusin doon. So next is input shaft natin. Ang kailangan natin i-inspect din dito is yung ating mga gear teeth, no. Kailangan natin sila i-inspect. So sa pag-inspect nito, kailangan natin tingnan kung may mga broken or crack or unusual distortion. Yung mga distortion, ibig sabihin kung may mga nababaluktot ba na mga ngipin ng ating gears or mga dun sa ating mismong gears, kung may mga nababaluktot, and kailangan din natin ma-assure na complete yung synchronous hub, no, na nag-engage dun sa ating mga gears, no. Siya nagdidikit once na tayo ay nagpapalit ng mga gear, no. So kailangan din i-inspect yung ating synchronous, yun, tulad nga nun siya nag-engage ng yung synchronizer, no. And kailangan din i-inspect ang ating mga bearings doon sa ating input shock. So bakit natin kailangan i-inspect yon? So kailangan natin i-inspect ito, no, kasi once na na-stuck itong ating mga bearing, no, hindi na natin maigagalaw ang ating mga gears. kasi ito ang mga nagpapaantar or nagpapaikot doon din sa ating mga gears. Now, next natin is output shaft. Now, dito, so pare-pares lang naman ang ating inspect dito is yung ating mga gears, gear teeth, no? So, check natin yung washer and yung tension. Siyempre, possible din na magkaroon dito ng distortion, no? Yung pagkabaluktot nga. And kailangan natin ma-inspect kung nalulubricate ba ang ating mga bearings, no? And yung ating synchronizer collar, no? Kailangan din natin siyang inspect kung nag-ooperate ba siya ng maayos. So, next natin is yung ating counter shaft gear. So, dito sa ating counter shaft gear, no, kailangan natin ma-inspect kung may mga cracks itong ating gear. And yung ating bearing, kailangan natin siyang i-inspect, no, yung bearing end ng ating counter shaft, no, kung functional pa, no. So, kung hindi na ito functional, we need to replace and palitan na natin siya ng panibago. And lastly is yung reverse idle gear natin, no, na mas importante rin dito sa ating transmission. No, kailangan natin i-inspect yung reverse gear brass niya, yung mga bushing nito, and yung ating idle gear shaft, no, kailangan natin siyang i-inspect din. So, ayun, dito natatapos yung sa ating manual transmission. So, ayun, next natin ang ating automatic transmission, no. So, nakalagay dito is basic operation of automatic transmission include torque converter, transmission axle, and longitudinal transmission. So, explain ko lang sa inyo kung paano nga ba natin i-inspect itong ating torque converter once na siya ay may problem, no? Or kahit walang problem. So, based on my readings, no, so kailangan natin siyang inspect, no, or paano nga ba natin siya inspect? So, kailangan natin i-start yung ating engine. So, once na i-start na natin ang ating engine, no, ipipress natin ang ating brake pedal, no, and i-press natin ang ating accelerator ng 2 to 3 seconds. And once na na-press na natin itong dalawa na to, no, kailangan na natin siyang i-interpret yung ating result or yung ating na-observe, no. So, once na mababa ang na-read ng ating RPM, no, so it means na we need to repair na yung ating torque converter or need na natin siyang i-replace, no. So, dito ang mga causes ng ating torque converter kung ba't siya nasisira, no. So, basahin ko sa inyo. So, matching the torque converter with non-stick engine, it was not designed can cause it to fail really quick, no. Yan. Towing cargo that exceed the vehicle towing capacity of a long period of time can be damaged the torque converter. And next, no, old and worn out internal vehicular component will also lead to failure. in torque converter, no? So once na luma na nga daw yung ating torque converter, no, nagkakaroon ito ng damage and nagka-cause ng problem doon sa ating automatic transmission, no. So next natin is yung ano nga ba yung mga kailangan pa natin inspect dito sa ating automatic transmission. So first natin is fluid level and condition. So kailangan natin inspect yung ating fluid level, no. So kailangan hindi sobra, hindi kulang, at dapat sakto lang. So may ginagamit tayong dipstick, no, or may mga indicator na nakalagay doon sa loob ng ating cars, no, once na kulang na yung ating mga fluid. And sa pag-test ng condition ng ating automatic transmission, no, malalaman din natin yun once na may nag-indicate doon sa ating dashboard, no. And next naman is yung fluid leak, no. Once na makita tayo doon sa ating mismong transmission na may tumutulo or may mga leaks, it means na may maluwag or may mga nasira na doon na gasket, may mga nasira na bearings, o kaya nagkakaroon ng metal to metal contact, and yung metal to contact na yun, napapanipis nito yung ating mismong mga gasket, and nagkakaroon ng leaks, no. And kailangan natin i-inspect yung ating internal and external condition ng ating transmission, and yung ating mga sensor or controllers, no. So once na nasira itong ating mga sensor or controllers, no, hindi natin ma-detect, no, kung ano nga ba ang sira nitong ating transmission or automatic transmission. So sa mga replacement naman dito sa ating automatic transmission, kailangan natin i-replace ang ating fluid and yung filter, no. So kailangan din natin i-check yung ating fluid level, and kailangan natin i-adjust ang bonds, no, leakage, and sensor, no. Kailangan yun. So required yun. So yun, dito nagtatapos yung sa ating automatic transmission.
Alright, good morning. My name is Dalton Andrews here at the wonderful J-Tech, and today we're going to go through inspecting your transmission and your drivetrain. Now, first things first, safety glasses always on. That's for you, Mr. Gutsy. Alright, first thing we're going to go through is your transmission. Now, once you get up in here, you can do your clutch adjustment and everything through this inspection hole. Now, I'm not going to go through all the details on that and all the specs that you're supposed to follow. You can go back 2 videos and I did a whole one on that for you. Alright, we're going to move on. Your drivetrain. You're going to have to make sure all these U-joints are attached and they're torqued down to their proper spec. Because if you don't do that, then as soon as you're pulling this out into the yard, you're going to have a drivetrain drop out. So you're just inspecting that, making sure that's all nice and tight. We're going to keep going. You got your carrier bearing. Now, it's going to be the same process. Make sure these bolts are torqued down to spec and it's all in there. You shouldn't have any play in your drivetrain at all. Now we're going to come back here. A couple more U-joints. Same thing. torque down to spec and everything. Now when you're taking this out and replacing it, or you're working with the transmission, another thing you have to be careful of is these needle bearings. That's why when you take this out, you tape it up so that they don't fall out and scatter all over the ground. Because then it's just a field day trying to go pick them all up. We're going to go a little bit into the diff. Now, for this, you need to make sure that you have it filled properly, and you can check that on the oil check. Full synthetic oil is what goes in here. You have to make sure you keep your differential running correctly. If you don't, you're going to tear up your rear bearings. Alright, another thing that we have to go through. The point of your transmission is to put torque through your drivetrain to your rear wheels. That's the whole purpose of the transmission, is getting power to your rear. So you can also check your oil in your transmission. You should be able to touch it. If you touch it, it's good. If you don't, you need to add more oil to it. Simple as that. Alright. Another thing, on your transmission, you have air lines going to it. Now you need to make sure that none of these are broken, worn down. Make sure there's no kinks in the hoses. Because if you don't have air to your transmission, you're not going to be able to shift into that high-low. You're going to lose that ability, and you're not going to be able to drive your truck properly. That's it.